about it. We'll finish with that. Yes, so then? What do you mean, is that okay? You're the boss. Darling, I said, shush, shush. I said before, with these lay vows, there are 5 lay vows. You choose which ones you wish to take. There are certain sets of vows you either take them or you don't. But these ones you decide. You decide, yes. That's your choice. Well, according to whom? Well, that's right. You always worry about what people think. We all like saying those, okay. There's no one bossing you around. You're the boss. What else then? About refuge and vows. Do you have any questions, seeing as you're the one who asked? Yes. Okay, good. So ask questions. It's important. No, I didn't ask you. No, I'm not asking. No. Sure. No, please be careful. I'm not asking you if you think I'm a teacher. I'm saying to you that if you do take refuge with a person, they need to be a person that you think of as a teacher. It's not my business. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying if you did take refuge from someone, you should make that decision that that person is a person that you're happy to see as a teacher. That's the onus is on you, not on me. Oh, you've taken refuge already. Oh, okay. Good. The vows. Okay. Okay. So what, darling? That's your business. That's your business. But I think it's important you talk about the vows first, because sometimes we have a bit of a misconception without being personal which vows. But why don't you talk about the different, what you think about, why would you think you'd only want to take 2? Just talk about vows in general. Okay, I think then, no, really? You're that bad? Oh, okay. So, okay. Now let me. Okay, good. Let me. Okay. Now let me say something. Okay. Let me just say some things, and you listen to this and think about it. Okay. It's a bit like, oh, how can I take a vow to lie? Because I might have to lie tomorrow. Whereas the point is, if you take a vow not to lie, that energizes you and reminds you to watch your speech like a hawk. So vows are, in other words, put another way, really simple. It's a bit like saying, oh, I don't want to drive a car just in case I forget to not go too fast. Basically, when you drive a car, if you started to list all the commitments and vows that you have taken, you'd have 100. I must not put the foot on the brake at the same time as the accelerator. I must not go in the left lane if a car's coming. I must not reverse if this is happening. You've got a whole series of instructions to drive a car, haven't you? They're called vows and commitments. And you would never say, oh, I won't drive a car in case I crash. I won't drive a car in case I go too fast. I won't drive a car in case I forget how to park. You decide you're going to park. You decide you're going to drive well, and that makes you drive the car. Occasionally, you might make a mistake. So it's a bit passive to say, I might. Do you see my point? The very point, no, listen carefully. I'm not forcing you to take anything, but really try to understand the point of a vow isn't to restrict you, isn't to suffocate you, isn't to make you feel afraid, isn't to make you get naughty girl and be punished. It's a guideline to give you courage to practice morality. It's the very thing it's the very thing that'll help you learn to drive better. If you don't know the vows of how to drive a car, you won't know how to drive a car, and you won't even know if you've broken the vows. So don't hear it in a moralistic way. They're like instructions for how to help you learn to control your body and speech so that you can practice morality. So it's like it should be a delight to live in a vow. And the very reason you take a vow is because if you never lied, you never need to take a vow. I'm just giving you a discussion to think about. And it's your private business what you do. You shouldn't even tell anybody. No, you're putting seeds in your vault 24 hours a day, even when you're not killing, with a vow. With a vow. Absolutely. When you don't have a vow not to kill, it's only when you think of not killing that you pop a seed in your bank vault. But it's a very weak seed because our virtue, which is the main thing that characterizes it as a good action, is usually not so strong. Whereas if you have a vow not to kill, 24 hours a day, you are putting seeds in your bank vault and you're purifying your mind. You break a vow. But that's like saying, if I never drive a car, I will never have an accident, isn't it? But if you do drive a car, look at the advantages of driving a car, and you might have an accident. You might go too fast. You might get a speeding ticket. But if you have the benefits of driving a car, you're prepared to risk the things going wrong. And we never think of it like that. But that's, and whereas we hear vows because we're so used to the religious, moralistic, fearful thing, we're scared, you know. Don't hear it like that. Do you hear my point? I'm just giving a view, that's all, how to think about it. It's a guideline, and remembering the power of it. Because, you know, the point is to break a vow, you've got to strongly intend to do the action. You've got to know you're breaking a vow. You've got to not care and have no interest in purifying it. And that would not be. When a person takes a vow, they're very serious. So it's really powerful to break a vow. Do you understand? So it's it's unusual. I mean, some people, some people take the vow not to have alcohol, then they take alcohol again. That happens. But usually, unless you're an addicted killer, it's unusual for a person to kill. We all tend to lie a bit. That's why having a vow is like a guideline for you. It's an instruction. When you know that you shouldn't go more than 70 kilometres an hour, that guides you to make sure you have your eye on the clock. But if you didn't know you shouldn't go 70, you'd be breaking the law all the time. A vow is a benefit. I'm not trying to force you, but I'm trying to get you to hear about what I'm saying. Do you understand the benefit of it? Are we with me, people? And I think as soon as we do decide something, it makes much more power for us. It's like it's there guiding us, you know? It's very interesting. What else? For you, because you're the one talking about it. Anybody else? Nobody, okay. You don't, okay. I said them before, but I'll say them again. You vow not to kill. You break vow in a major way if you kill a human being. And that means intentional, knowing you've got a vow, not caring, and having no interest in changing it. And that's kind of unusual. But then, so you break in a major way if you kill a human, and then you break it at the root and you have to take it again from somebody. Break in a minor way if you kill ants and other creatures. So there's that. Second, no taking the ungiven, as the Tibetans call it. It's very sweet. That means you break in a major way if you take something of value to someone else. And you break in a minor way if you take anything that hasn't been given to you. And that's an interesting one, because, I mean, look at computers these days. You just press a button, you get a movie, you know. It's effortless. So it really helps us it really gives us like guidelines to really watch our behavior, you know. It's interesting. The third is no lying. And so you break in a major way if you lie about your spiritual attainments. And you break in a minor way if you say anything that isn't true. And this is a point about vows. Like learning the road rules, they give you the guidance of how to do it. They're like the instructions of what to do. In that sense, they're very powerful, rather than fearful of breaking. You know, they're giving you guidelines. And then when you realise the benefit that in your mind 24 hours a day is incredible. And also by living in vows, you're purifying those habits. So it makes it easier not to lie, kill and steal by keeping your vows. And then when you do the 4 opponent powers at the end of the day, you purify the weakened vows. You know, and then you reiterate at the end of every day, I will never kill, I will never steal, I will never lie. And like you're digging the groove deeper in your mind every day, so it becomes a deeper habit. That's the way it is. Yes, you're practicing not killing. You're practicing not lying. You're practicing not stealing. The next one is no sexual misconduct. That usually is interpreted, well, not raping, for example, misusing your body to harm others based on sexual attachment, but also not cheating on partners, usually, if you have a partner, you know. And the fifth one is no intoxicants, which usually means alcohol or heroin or something, right, or whatever. So if you want your shot every day of heroin, you don't take that vow. They're the 5 vows. What else, people? Yes. The the vow, the vow, the vow, the vow. The way I give it, which is how I was taught it, is to not take. But His Holiness the Dalai Lama, out of great kindness to, deluded people like you and me, has given the vow. He gives the vow as not getting drunk, but that's not the way I give it. I just give it this way because that's how I learned it. It's up to individuals. You understand? Yeah. Dalai Lama so kindly, and even to when he gives refuge and vows to a great big group of people, Westerners, he always gives the killing one as no killing only humans, because he knows that most Westerners find it very hard not to kill roaches and rats and things. So he's so kind in narrowing down the vow just to don't kill humans. And so by the fact of living, not killing, I mean, most of us won't kill a human. So it's marvellous to have the vow because it's the power of the vow itself, purifying your mind so that next life you wake up with no thought to kill. That's the power of having vows,
And for the killing, because I didn't take that, because I wouldn't know if I eat meat or not.
And nothing to do with killing.
Okay.
Well, you don't just say, okay, you should analyse it.
No, but it's human.
Well, you don't just accept it. You should ask why.
Yeah, okay, why?
Thank you. You just believe what I said. That's really laziness. Listen, okay. To do an action, there needs to be the object there. To have an action of killing, there has to be an object there, a living being. Second, there is your mind involved in it, and that is there has to be the intention to kill and the motivation of attachment or aversion or whatever. Third, you do the action. Fourth, the sentient being is dead. That's a complete action of killing in general. So then, in general, also any action we do, like let's say that's in general an action of killing. So when you eat a carrot, it's not a sentient being, but you know, don't you, that many sentient beings died in the growing and the picking of that carrot, don't you? But we don't think about that. So then you could say, well, I must be killing sentient beings because when I get a carrot, many beings died. Well, they did. But just by breathing, you're killing sentient beings. By walking, by driving, we're killing billions of beings. By using products that are using animals' bodies. So whatever we do, so eating has really got nothing to do with it. It's just that we're so obsessed about eating, we think that's the only thing. I mean, that's why I always, like, because we're so attached to eating, we think if you eat meat, somehow that's the worst thing. But we eat vegetarian, creatures die. I remember one scientist in Victoria, I read about how I told you this wheat field. And then they grow wheat. What for? Well, 20% for the bulls, for the meat eaters, or whatever we eat, and 80% for the holy vegans. And in the off season, when there's no wheat there, these millions of little cute field mice live there. And when they have to grow them wheat, what do? They kill the millions of mice. But the fundamentalist vegans and vegetarians say, oh, you can't help that, because as soon as we eat it, that's when we have a problem. But it's insane. I mean, the holy vegans and vegetarians, millions of mice died for their wheat, but they don't care because they don't eat it. So I think it's a bit extreme when we think of only eating being the problem. Are you getting my point here? Just whatever we do, we're slaughtering creatures. Driving a car, some guy did the research, it's trillions of little sentient beings just on the number plate get slaughtered. So whatever we do, that's why we have to have awareness and have consciousness, have compassion. Or be like Lama Zopa, puts mantras all over his cars so the sentient beings that bash into the cars get the blessing of the mantra. So we've got to be aware of this. So just whether you eat meat's kind of irrelevant. But of course, to do any action that does involve the harming of sentient beings, you attempt not to do it. You understand? Well, it's something not just the fishing, like I'm saying. I mean, so many things that happen. And yeah, so you understand. But killing is the most important one. And try to remember the point of vows, like I'm saying here, isn't to restrict us from doing something, isn't to make us naughty. And that's how we think about it. It's to put in your mind stream the powerful habit of morality and non-harming such that you develop that, and it purifies your past habits, and it causes you waking up next life in a human body with no thought to kill. If you look at the human planet, most humans kill something because they haven't vowed not to kill. So you just wake up with a habit. And most religions even say it's okay to kill. So the killing is the most marvellous vow to have. Do you understand? When you see the benefit of it, don't see the restriction of it. Oh, I might be naughty and I might do it. Better not to do it. That's like I said. That's like saying I'll never drive a car in case I get a parking ticket. I mean, that's ridiculous. You've got to see the advantages of driving a car, and you're prepared to risk getting a ticket, but you use your common sense. So see the advantages of living in vows. That's one of the key points in Buddhism. He says vows are the most powerful way. You can't, Lama Zopa is saying we can't really get ahead without living morality in the context of vows, because they're so powerful in our mind stream, 24 hours a day, and they purify our mind. In other words, you're programming your mind in morality easily, without effort, you know. The only reason I'm a nun, because I appreciate the power of vows. Why would I want to listen to these 14th century robes for, you know? So I think it's time to finish. We'll do the refuge and go. The people who want to go can go. Yes, darling. No, refuge usually comes first, and then you can, the vows often, if I were to do it here, I would do the both. But people can decide if you take refuge only, and you can take the vows as well if you want. But you wouldn't take you can't take the vows if you haven't taken refuge. Yeah. Yes. You can renew your vows and you renew your refuge. Absolutely, you can do that. It's very helpful to do that. Some people say you don't need to, but I think it's great. It helps. Especially if we've weakened our vows. We're a bit lazy sometimes. Huh? You don't say words that are wrong. That's it. You don't say words that are not true.
For example, if I feel something, but I say something different, like how are you? How are you?
Yeah.
I'm well.
That's not lying. That's being kind to sentient beings. No, you see, lying doesn't mean saying everything that's true, like you've got indigestion or you're smelly or something, or oh, you're looking ugly today. Or no, people says, you like my dress? Yes, it's a lovely dress. Oh, I'm lying. Understand the point of a lie is it's coming from self-centeredness and usually protecting ourselves. But being kind to somebody, saying you're fine. You understand that? That's not a lie. How can you say that's a lie? You understand? Really get the meaning of a lie. You know, it's always self-centered. It's always, for your own benefit and to protect you as opposed to someone else somehow, isn't it? I think so. What else, people? Those who want to do the refuge and vows, be clear. Is there any more questions? It's important, and then we can finish and do that if you want. Or we can finish then. So we just think we've been together a couple of days, all these thoughts we've had. And this is the one about karma. As many moments as there have been is as many seeds each one of us has planted in our mind. So be blissed out. Even this much, all this information gone in, none of it will go astray. Every thought we've had, everything we've done, it's gone in the mind. So how marvelous. So we think maybe nourish these seeds with our effort, our practice, whether we call ourselves Mickey Mouseist, Tonyist, or Buddhist, it doesn't matter. Do work with what you do, practice your path, practice morality, work on your body, work on your speech, work on your mind, for your sake and the sake of sentient beings. How amazing. Be so delighted, So we rejoice in that for ourselves and each other. I can't sing today. That'll do. And may compassion grow and grow in the hearts of all. That's it. Finished. Thank you so much.